Okay. Oh, looks like the stream is up. So I'm tweeting right now to the handful of people that I think follow me on Twitter. There we go. I need to mute it. Mute. Oh, there we go. All right. Let's see here. Come hang out and chat. Let's see, and then I need to grab the link to the stream, and we will tweet that out. Alrighty. Oh, hey, we got viewers, it says. Hi there to everybody that's here hanging out right now. Let's jump on in the chat. Let's hang out and talk. I know that I said that I was going to start my stream at 9 o'clock, and it is now a little past 9:30 a.m. Pacific time. That's because I had another thing that I needed to do this morning at 8, and I neglected to think about that when I said 9 o'clock. But then I should also say that the next 2 Saturdays after this, yeah, go figure, I decided to change from Thursday to Saturday. And I guess I should talk about that, why I decided to change. Anyway, I decided to change from Thursday to Saturday, and then of course, like 3 weeks in a row, I have other stuff going on those Saturday mornings. So yeah, I'm not very good about that kind of thing, about planning for the future. I have a tendency to not look at my calendar sometimes for things. But anyway, I have looked at it now, and have figured out that the next 2 weeks I'm probably not going to be able to do it Saturday mornings. I might be able to do it like later on in the day, but Saturday mornings are not going to work. Yeah, and the reason why, if there were people that were waiting on Thursday night, because I know that I said I was going to go Thursday, and I know not everybody follows me on Twitter, and I did not make a video or anything, post it to my YouTube channel like saying I was switching from Thursday to Saturday. So I understand that there might have been some people that might have been waiting on Thursday night and were maybe a little disappointed that I didn't make it again on Thursday night. But I decided to switch because 9 o'clock is kind of late, even for Pacific time people. 9 o'clock at night, and so I thought, and then there's other people obviously live in the Eastern time zone here in the United States, and then in other places around the world where that's just the middle of the night for them or whatever. So I thought I'd try a morning stream to see if other people would be able to make it to that. So here I am, trying out Saturday morning. But I don't know, I'm wondering. Sorry, I was just looking at the viewfinder on my camera up there, and I was like, man, I look kind of small, but then I look at my preview window on OBS and on YouTube, and it looks like everything's going okay. All right, so, yeah, this is my weekly live stream that I wanted to do for those that have never seen one before, where I just come and hang out, and I hope, yeah, my audio is working. I already checked that. I was just thinking, I hope the audio is working. I've been sitting here talking. But, because, yeah, last week, for those of you that saw that, know that the first, 5 minutes or something of the stream, I had no audio at all because I failed to get my microphone hooked up correctly. So, anyway. Yeah, so this is my weekly live stream. I just like to come and hang out with people that show up in the chat, and we just talk about whatever you want to talk about. If you have questions that you want to ask me, having to do with, computers, because I guess I don't know the tech level of all of my subscribers really, but I know that my most popular video on my channel is one that I posted several years ago now. I think it's 3 years ago now, where I show how to install a graphics card in a computer, and I get a lot of questions on that video, when it comes to installing their graphics card, installing drivers, that kind of thing. So if you have questions about those kinds of things, computer related stuff, if I know the answer, I will help you the best I can. I am very willing to admit that I do not know everything about computers. Computers are a hobby of mine. It's something I've been very into and interested in all of my life, really. And, it's just been the last, 5+ years. Well, I built my very first computer in 2005. So I was into it then, obviously. And, But I'm going to refresh this. Sorry, just shows I have peak concurrent viewers of 3, but nobody's talking in chat yet, it looks like. So anyway, so maybe there's just a few lurkers that are sitting there listening, maybe. Or maybe nobody's actually there and listening. But where was I? What was I talking about? Oh yeah, I was talking about my history in computers. So yeah, I built my first computer in 2005. So something that I've enjoyed. And back then, I had, some friends that were helping me with it. And I spent more money than I needed to, I think, to build a computer that I wanted to build. And since that time, I've wanted to learn more so I could make a more informed decision. And, computer technology and stuff just fascinates the heck out of me, especially hardware. So like the last 5 years or so, I've been trying to follow things a lot more closely so that I have a better knowledge and understanding of the hardware that's out there and available, so that I can make better decisions when I go buying parts to build computers. Because since 2005, the only computers that I have bought that I did not build myself are laptops. So I enjoy building them so much that I don't even want to buy a pre-built system ever again. So unless I guess we reach the point where it's too expensive to build your own and it's like significantly cheaper to buy a pre-built. But so far, well, I guess this past year it's kind of happened with the price of RAM going way up through the roof, and with graphics cards prices going sky high as well. But that all seems to be coming back to reality again, which I'm happy about. And you should be too if you're into building your own computers and stuff and upgrading your computers. You'll be happy to know that things are starting to normalize once again. Anyway, we got nobody talking in the chat yet. So I don't know what I should do here. See, I did, we tweeted that out. Random live stream number 4. Let's hang out and talk. So, yeah, I guess while I wait, I was trying to think of some of the, oh yeah, there's some interesting things that have been happening here as of late in the tech space. For those of you that are interested to know, you probably have already seen it. I'm kind of regurgitating news that other tech YouTubers have already talked about, but it's something that I'm interested about. And the Geforce Partner Program, if you've heard of that, the GPP, was a thing that NVIDIA did. At least my understanding of it, anyway, based on the reports and stuff that I've seen, is that NVIDIA was wanting their partners, companies like Asus, MSI, trying to think who else makes. I mean, there's lots, overseas, or outside of the United States. There's companies like Galax and Palette, and Gigabyte, I guess Gigabyte's in the United States. But, you know, all of those companies like that make graphics cards. What NVIDIA was doing was basically having these companies sign an agreement that was saying that we will give you priority when it comes to GPUs. So, like, you know, because NVIDIA is the one that manufactures the GPU itself, which is the small little chip, you know, silicon chip that's on the graphics card. Because the graphics card, you know, is a thing that's probably about like this long or whatever. You know, it's about like that. That's the graphics card. The GPU is something that's, you know, maybe, what, about that, an inch or so tall, and maybe, I don't know, a half-inch wide at the most. It's less than a half-inch wide. But anyway, NVIDIA makes the GPUs themselves. And then you have these other companies, these partners, that they build graphics cards based on those GPUs. So NVIDIA was saying, if you sign up for our Geforce partner program, then we will give you prioritization on GPUs, you know, so you'll get them before other companies that want them. So, like, let's say that, you know, Asus signs up with it and then Gigabyte does not, you know. So it's like, hey, Asus, you get first dibs. You know, we'll feed you first, and that kind of thing. So they were going to do that. And there was some other stuff that was going on with it. But in exchange for them agreeing to this, what NVIDIA was doing was saying that you have to exclusively align your gaming brand, basically, with NVIDIA and Geforce. So you had companies like Asus that have their Republic of Gamers, or ROG brand, that they built themselves. Mind you, this was something that they created. NVIDIA had nothing to do with it. They created this brand, and it has become a very popular brand for them, a big seller for them. And so anyway, what NVIDIA was saying is you have to align your branding with NVIDIA products only. And it's like, because Asus, they also make AMD-based graphics cards, you know. So an AMD, if you don't know, is the other competitor in the graphics card market. You know, they're not nearly as big as NVIDIA, but there's really, you know, besides the two of them, there's really nobody else that's on their level, you know, providing competition to the market. So Asus, what they had to do is, so no longer can they have an ROG RX 580 or you know, ROG Vega 64 or whatever. They had to change the branding on that, because they could only have ROG, you know, Republic of Gamers, with NVIDIA stuff. And so there was a ton of backlash from this, like the tech space, you know, tech reviewers and all the tech YouTubers and you know, the tech media. Basically, there was pretty big backlash about this, you know, saying that this is ridiculous, you know. And NVIDIA was, their excuse, you know, or their reason behind it is like, well, we want, you know, transparency. We want the consumers to know what they're getting. So, like, when they buy something that's Republic of Gamers, then they know it's an NVIDIA product, you know. And they don't want people to be confused that they're getting, you know, that if they're buying Republic of Gamers, it's like, oh, is Republic of Gamers, is that, you know, Geforce GTX, or is that, you know, AMD? What is that? You know, but the thing is people that are into it and buy the stuff themselves, they know the difference. You know, so basically what this move was, what it looked like to me, and what the opinions of other people that I've, you know, read articles and whatnot online, and I agree with them, is this is NVIDIA basically trying to create you know, trying to stomp AMD out, because AMD, you know, they released their Vega graphics cards. When was that? Last year, you know, 2017, late 2017, and is that right? Yeah, I think that's right. Anyway, they released them, and everybody was super excited about them, you know, because they're hoping that it would provide some major competition to NVIDIA at the high end, you know, because you have the GTX 1080, 1080 Ti, and the Titan X that NVIDIA is dominating the high-end graphics card space with, and everybody wanted AMD to come in and provide competition. Well, so they released Vega 56 and Vega 64, and they were pretty disappointing when it came to like game performance. When it came to compute performance, the AMD cards kicked the crap out of the NVIDIA cards when it comes to... I don't know all the technical stuff behind it. I wish I did. I know when it comes to like mining, you know, when you're talking about cryptocurrency mining, that the AMD cards were very good at that. Very, very good because of the way their architecture works. It was very good for that kind of thing. It's very good for computational stuff in that regard. Better than NVIDIA's performance. But when it came to like playing video games, the people were very disappointed because they didn't really... I mean, they kind of competed with NVIDIA, but not well enough, you know? It's like the 1080 was still more powerful. The 1080 Ti was vastly more powerful. So it was like... Anyway, getting back to the GPP thing. So basically, a lot of people feel like this was NVIDIA trying to kick AMD while they're down, basically. Just going like, hey, so you guys aren't doing very well when it comes to gaming performance, and your cards, even though they're selling really well to miners, gamers aren't so much wanting to buy them, but gamers couldn't buy them either because miners were buying them all. But that's a totally separate topic. Anyway, so they're just kind of like basically saying that, hey, you know, we're going to do this, and all of like the top brands, you know, the MSI Gaming X stuff, the Asus ROG, the Gigabyte Aorus, and whatever, all these like gaming branded lines, it's like that's all going to basically come over to NVIDIA, and we're just going to... And then, you know, then those companies will have to come up with new brands or whatever, or have something that's not branded as gaming necessarily or whatever as their AMD stuff. So then it's kind of like when a gamer goes to buy a graphics card, what are they going to do? They're like, oh, well, let's get the gaming one, right? Let's get the ROG or the Aorus or whatever. I think that was their thinking behind it anyway, is that's what they were hoping to do, is basically, you know, say, hey, we're going to take the best stuff for us, for NVIDIA, and we'll leave all the junky garbage or whatever, or junky garbage with quotation fingers, because it's actually still decent stuff for the for AMD stuff. Anyway, but this last week, I guess, or maybe it was last week, because I want to say I heard about it on the WAN show, over a week ago. So it's been over a week that this happened, that NVIDIA, because of all of the backlash, has come out and said, we're canceling the Geforce partner program. And they made these weird statements where it was like, they were talking about that they're canceling it because there's so much rumor, speculation, misinformation out there. And I thought it was very funny that they say that, because it's like, if it was rumor and speculation and misinformation, if people had it wrong, if the media had it wrong, and this is not what they were trying to do, basically, then why aren't you coming out and just saying, no, you guys got it all wrong. This is the situation. This is why, you know, this is what the Geforce partner program is. This is why we put it into place, and explain it to us, right? That would make the most sense. But by just coming out and saying, well, we're going to cancel it because of all the negative press, basically, is pretty much admitting that they were trying to be underhanded and trying to stomp, you know, kick AMD while they're down type of a thing. That's what they were trying to do. That's pretty much what they're doing, is admitting that, which I found funny and interesting and stuff like that. But anyway, we're all good there. Let's see, what have we got going on for the time here? We are almost at 15 minutes into the stream, and so far we got no questions in the chat. Has anybody got any questions or anything or something they want to talk about? We can talk about whatever. You don't have to talk about tech stuff. We can talk about. I guess I could talk about what I could talk about my day today. Well, this morning I got up at 7 o'clock. My kids woke me up because my wife and I had watched a show together last night, and we turned on. We've got I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily call it surround sound, but we've got speakers built into the ceiling of the room where our TV, our living room, family room, whatever, where the TV's at, and I had put the audio up onto those speakers, and I forgot to turn it off last night. Forgot to turn off the receiver, So my kids this morning, they wake up and they start watching cartoons, and they come into our room at just a little after 7, and they're all like, "We need help! We need help! We turned the TV volume all the way down, and we pushed mute and everything, but it's really loud. We don't know what to do." They were afraid they were going to wake us up because of the sound, and which they didn't. What woke us up was them coming in and telling us they needed help. So that was funny. So yeah, I had to turn my phone on because it's linked through an app on my phone, and turn the receiver off and everything. But so we woke up, and then I came up here to my office here, and got everything set up for the live stream. So I guess it was good they woke me up early so that I could get everything set up and ready to go. And then we went over to our church, and we helped clean the church. We were the lucky ones that were chosen to clean the bathrooms, so that was super cool. No, it's I know that I'm kind of being sarcastic, but it really wasn't that bad. It's actually fairly clean, mostly just kind of needs sterilization and and that kind of thing. And then afterwards we went and got donuts. So I got donuts waiting for me downstairs. I would eat one, but that'd be rude to eat on the stream, wouldn't it? Sit here and enjoy a donut, and for the people that are watching. Hey, New Rain. How's it going, man? Good to see you here in the chat. So yeah, as for the rest of my day after this, once I finish up the live stream today, I got my lawn to mow. And then I got to change the oil in our minivan. And yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking there's other things that I need to do, and I can't remember what they are at the moment, but I guess first things first. I got to finish this stream first, and then go mow the lawn, and then I got to clean our fish tank. But it's only like a little teeny, like 2-gallon little thing, so that's not a big deal. And then probably walk our dog, and just normal stuff. It's like nothing too crazy. I'm not like one of those people that lives the life of luxury and excitement all the time. I'm not going like skydiving or to Disneyland or anything today. We're just doing regular normal things. I'm sure I'll have other chores around the house that I will need to help with. Probably help with some vacuuming or something too during the day. It's kind of what Saturday is for me. It's kind of like it's almost as busy or busier than a normal work day. But such is life, right? Such is life. So, New Rain, what's going on with you, man? Are you still there? I know it's going to take you about 10 seconds or so from the time that I ask this question before you'll hear it and then be able to answer. So then it'll probably be like 20 or 30 seconds before I see your response. It shows that we have 4 peak concurrent viewers, so I don't know how many there actually are. It says we have 3 watching now. So we got 3 watching. So we got lurkers that are sitting watching. I wonder if my wife's one of the lurkers. She says that she lurks in the chat sometimes. Well, not in the chat, but she'll turn on the stream and watch, but she doesn't say anything. Not much going on, huh? Now I'm trying to remember. New Rain, are you from Chicago? Is that right? Am I remembering right, or am I thinking of somebody else? And while I wait for your answer on that question, I want to talk about, this thing. I should try to find this. Because this was crazy when I saw this. People, like tech guys were talking about it. I want to say I saw it on Awesome Hardware first, and then they were talking about it on Tech Talk on Thursday. But this is crazy. Google, why can't I remember what it was called? But it was pretty insane, and I want to see if I can find it and share it with you guys on here. Let's go here. I've got to try to find it. Google is developing AI that is going to take over the world. Okay, it's Google Duplex is what it's called. That's what it's called. Google Duplex. But I mean, it's kind of cool and exciting technology, but at the same time, it's scary. It's really scary. Let's see here. We'll kind of show this, but I have it muted. Oh wait, I gotta bring OBS over here on this screen. Okay, so now we're gonna go switch over to, let's see, is this the right one? No. Nope, that's not what we want. So now you guys can see what I'm looking at over here. I need to, let's see here, display capture. We need to switch to this one. There we go. All right, so this is a video. What is this, an ad? What the heck? Oh no, this is them demonstrating it. Okay, so this was like a press conference or whatever where they're showing this off. So it's talking about how it can make phone calls for you, and it's creepy. Well, it's cool and creepy at the same time. So he's saying here, "Hi, I'm calling about a woman's haircut," and it sounds like a real human's voice, like literally like a real woman, like talking, and supposedly, you know, this is like a real phone call and it's not staged or scripted or whatever. This AI is apparently capable. I don't want to get copyright flagged, so I'm not going to show it the whole thing. I'm going to switch back to me here. But anyway, apparently what this thing can do. Oh, okay. New Rain says he's in California. He's sitting here looking at military trucks for auction. Dude, that's cool. Military trucks? What do you do with military trucks? Anyway, so what this thing can do, this Google Duplex, is they're developing it as like a personal assistant. It makes me think of I never saw the movie, I just saw previews for that movie Her, where what was his name, Joaquin Phoenix was like fell in love with his phone, right? Because he's like sitting there talking to his Siri or whatever, and he like falls in love with it. Well, basically that's what this, even though I haven't seen the movie, my idea in my head from, you know, the idea of the guy talking to his phone and falling in love with it, that's what this makes me think of. Because the thing in the demo that they show, you guys will have to look it up and watch the video. They have it. They're like, hey, you know, basically, you know, I don't know how many of you have Google devices, but basically it's like, okay, Google, schedule me a haircut. So then the digital assistant built into his phone calls, you know, this hair salon, right? And talks in a very human sounding voice. It's not, you know, that kind of robotic Siri sounding voice, but like sounds like a real person pretty much, you know. And they're saying, "Hi, I'm making a call for a client, you know, to set up an appointment." And they're like, "Okay, yeah, you know." And it's like, "When would you like to get in?" You know. And it's like the freaking AI is like carrying on a conversation with the person on the other end, which is really, really cool, but really freaking scary at the same time. They talked about it on Tech Talk, actually. They talked about some things that I hadn't quite thought of, but is very legitimate. Because they were talking about this thing was so good, that in the demo that they showed anyway, like Jay, he was saying he thought it might be fake. You know, it's like, oh, he's like, I am very skeptical, is what what he said, that, you know, that this was a real phone call, you know, that it wasn't scripted, because it says it was so good, you know, it was so good that it just blows your mind, like how good, like, the thing carried on a conversation, because it dropped in like ums and ahs and those kind of things that you would do and people do when they're actually speaking, you know. So it sounded very conversational the way it talked. And but he was saying that the scary thing about this is, what if like scammers get a hold of this technology and they start calling you with this AI, right? So instead of having, you know, a bunch of people, and now, you know, right now, at least in the United States, you get a lot of these scammer calls from like India and stuff, you know. So you have these guys with Indian accents calling, and you can kind of pick them out, you know. You're pretty certain that it's a scammer calling you. But now imagine this person's calling you, and they speak in whatever your local, like, dialect is, whatever your local accent is. So now it sounds like a real freaking person, and you know, and it can speak in a manner like a real person. It's like, and here they, and you know, and you get these scammer calls, and they can call you and say whatever, and it's like, and the thing can actually interact with you, where you say something and it will respond to what you said, you know, in context. So, I mean, imagine that. That's kind of scary. And then they even took it a step further, you know, which I hadn't thought of at all. It's like, what if this AI is so good it can mimic voices? Because you guys are, if you're familiar with, there's a thing called deep fakes that's out there right now, that it uses machine learning to, it takes like a bunch of images of someone's face. What people have done with it so far, I've heard of it being used for creating adult video content. But the things I have seen is, it's kind of more funny, humorous than anything, is they have, like, I've seen ones where they took Nicolas Cage's face and put it on different people. Like, there was a scene from the movie, I think it was from Man of Steel, where, what's her name, Amy Adams, that plays Lois Lane, is sitting there talking to Superman, and Henry Cavill, is that his name? Henry Cavill, whatever. But they're sitting there talking, and they put Nicolas Cage's face, you know, on to her head, which, you know, still has her hair and everything, but it's got Nicolas Cage's eyebrows, eyes, nose, mouth, you know, all that. So it's like, it's Nicolas Cage as a woman talking, and it looks very odd, but at the same time, it's incredibly good, because it can move, like, as the person moves their head, because the AI takes all these images of these people's faces, right? You have to feed it into like a database, I guess, basically, you know, where you create a database of whoever's face you want to copy. And so then it takes all that, and it can, I don't know how it does it, but basically scans all those images, and it can recreate a three-dimensional mask, so to speak. And then it can then take the video, whatever video you want to put that face onto, and then it will track like their face and their movements, and then take that 3D mask and put it onto the video, onto the person in the video, right? So now you have swapped the face to somebody else, but instead of looking weird like that face swap app, it looks really convincingly realistic if you know, do it right. And now think you take that technology and mix it with this Google Duplex technology, and let's say they're able to mimic someone's voice, right? So now they can take that fake video they just made and couple it with a fake voice, like perfectly mimicked voice, and now they're creating something that, you know, looks like someone could look like you, or someone famous, or you know, the president of the United States or something, and have them do and say something that they never actually did or said. And then think about the, you know, the level where, you know, keep taking it further, where you look at people committing crimes and they get caught on camera. And now it's like, can you trust the video? And can you trust the audio? Because this technology exists to fake it so well that it looks and sounds real. I mean, it's just crazy, you know, because it's like you hear about, you know, in court cases where people get recorded, you know, soliciting their ex-husband get murdered or something, their ex-wife get murdered, something like that, you know, and the police catch him on, you know, but now what if that could be faked? It's like, now does this kind of evidence become inadmissible? It's like, whoa, this, I mean, it's cool technology, but at the same time, it's really scary because it opens up the door for people to misuse it in a bad way. And so it's cool and scary at the same time. Let's get back to New Rain. So he wants to buy an M1083 MTV and turn it into a camper. It says, or a M1078 LMTV. I don't even know what those are. An M1078. I'm guessing those are like personnel carriers or something of some kind, or something like that. I'm assuming, or maybe like a truck. I remember you said you were looking at military trucks, so it's some kind of a truck for maybe like hauling equipment or something, maybe, where it has a big back on it where you can turn it into a camper. That's pretty ambitious, man. That's cool, though. Ambitious, but cool. Okay, so now I need to bring this. Let's see here. So we still got 3 people watching. All right, we're 30 minutes in now. Yes, I can look them up. Do you want me? Should I just look them up on stream right now? We'll just look them up. We'll just do a little screen share here. Let's open up Google Chrome. Boom. Let's do that. We're going to go to this. So here we are with Google. And we're going to look up an M. This is a 1083. Oops. 1083 MTV. Let's check it out. Let's see what we got. Okay. So that's what we're looking at. What does that kind of stuff sell for? Anyway, that's... How much does that kind of stuff cost? I'm assuming these are older used ones you're looking at. See, what's the other one? Is the M1078. 1078 LM. Okay, yeah, so they're very similar. Very similar looking trucks. Well, very cool, man. So New Rain, for the other 2 viewers that are lurking, this is what he's looking at. He's looking at buying one of these guys, converting it into a camper. Well, that'll be fun. It'll be very unique. I'm guessing that there's probably a niche crowd of people that do this kind of stuff, that convert these trucks over into campers and stuff. But I would imagine there's not very many of them either. So you're gonna have a pretty unique camper on your hands, man. That's cool. Oh, I'm like looking at the camera like you can see me because I'm still screen sharing. There we go. So yeah. So what's new for you? Oh, New Rain says for the M1083 MTV, it says, oh, it's 10K for the 1083 and 6 for the 1078. So that's not too bad. And I'm assuming they're diesel, you know, so those diesel engines will last a long time. Except I don't know how hard the military runs those things. I don't know. Do you know if you have to do a lot of, you know, engine work on them, or are they just pretty much good to go? Let's cheaper to build one than it is to buy one. Yeah, I can imagine that. Much cheaper. I know that RVs and campers are stinking expensive. My in-laws are pretty big RV campers and stuff, and they've owned since my wife and I have been married. We've been married, let's see, be 15 years next month. And her parents have owned a couple different RVs. At least 3 that I can think of since in the time we've been married. And they are not cheap at all. They are quite expensive. Okay, New Rain says they're good to go, so he doesn't have to do any engine work, sounds like. That's good. Well, cool, man. Well, best of luck to you on that. I hope I'm not... So you're there right now. You're looking at military trucks for auction. So is the auction going on today, or are you just looking at them, kind of figuring out what you want to bid on? And now, the silence while I wait for him to answer my question. You know, you lurkers, which, Stacy, maybe I shouldn't have said my wife's name. You can say something in the chat if you want. You know, I'm assuming that you're there. Because I know you do. It says 3 watching now. Just curious who the other person is. Say hi in the chat if you're watching. Just say hi, that's all. Just say hi. I just want to see who's here. Because when I don't know, it's kind of scary, right? It's like there's someone in your house, but you don't know who it is. Oh, okay, you're looking at them online. Ah, okay. So you're looking that makes more sense why you would be watching this while you're, cause I was thinking you were like actually at like, you know, the place, and I'm all like, wow, you're like watching this on your phone while you're there looking at trucks. It's like you're a multitasker. Way to go, man. Looking them online. I should call her the queen. Call my wife the queen, and so that you can just say, hey, if you are this is a message for the queen. If you are watching right now, lurking, please say hi in the chat so that I know that you're here. Well, anyway. Let's see. Oh, I should say, maybe I'll do that little tease. What I will show you. Let's see. I have been working on another video. I know it's been like a month or more since I last made a video. So those of you that have been waiting for a new video to come out, you don't have to wait much longer. Let's see here. I gotta go to my Creator Studio. Let's see here. Although that shows the video URL so that you guys could go watch it, although it's not out yet, it's scheduled, but I'll release it as soon as, so I guess that doesn't matter. Or can I delete it out of there? No, I can't delete it out of there. I don't think there's anything that I can't show you here, or that I shouldn't, so we'll switch over. All right, here we go. This is not the thumbnail that I'm going to be using, but I thought it was funny that that was one of the the randomly generated thumbnails. For those of you that upload videos on YouTube, you know that it'll generate these thumbnails for you automatically. But it's funny to me that this picture is one of the thumbnails that got generated. So we'll zoom in. This is one of the thumbnails that got generated automatically, and that's the one that it chose. Thought that was funny, but I figure since it's a a review about a gaming headset that I should probably have a picture of the gaming headset in there. Unless, whoa. Looks like I enlarged this too. Oh, okay. So that's the way that works. Okay. I'm learning things. But anyway, yeah. So that's what I've got coming out. Should be out later today is what I'm planning on doing. I got to type up my video description. And I don't know. Here's a little behind the scenes look for those of you that don't do YouTube videos. You know, this is all the stuff here. We got cards that we can put in, which is the little things that pop up here at the top, you know, and it like suggests different videos or whatever for you to watch. We got the end screens that we can add in, which I guess I could do that right now. We could show you that live here. So at the end of the video, you can, it only does it the last 20 seconds. So you can just click this add elements, and then you can go create, and then say, you know, what you want. You can choose your video that you want. You can go what's best for your viewer, so it'll like look at the stuff that the viewers, you know, the type of videos that they watch, and find a video of yours that kind of meets their interests, I guess, or closest to their interests. So we can create that element. So then we can position that wherever we want. And I think the way I've got this set up, my video should be fading out right here at the end. Yep. So we can have that like right there. So I could put it. Let's put one there, and then we'll add another one. We'll do the most recent upload, and put it like right there. Or maybe I'll put them over here. And then for people that want to subscribe that are not yet subscribers, we can pop that in. And there we go. So now, when they reach the end of the video, then these will pop in. Save. There we go. There's a little tutorial in the live stream. But, you know, there's other stuff you can do in here also. But I need to type up my description, and I want to create a new thumbnail for my video. And then I'll put it live. So right now I think it's scheduled for, what, later tonight? Like 9 o'clock at night or something like that. But yeah. Hope you enjoyed that little behind the scenes sneak peek. How are we doing on, how long have we been going? Let's see, live time, we're at 50 minutes. So got about 10 more minutes left, and then I'm gonna need to sign out because I got lots of stuff to get done today. But it's been fun to stream here. I'd kind of hope that we'd get, you know, some more viewers. I was hoping that this time on Saturday morning would work better for people to be able to come and hang out. But, you know, it is what it is. New Rain. Now I'm trying to remember. Were you the one that had the cat video with like the cat licking your foot or something like that? Now I gotta wait until you hear and can answer my question. Well, it says I've only been live for 43 minutes. Okay, so I still got more time. I guess on OBS it's been going for 51 minutes. A CAD design for a motorhome? I have never done a CAD design for a motorhome. So no, New Rain, that was not you that talked about the cat video like a couple weeks ago. Okay. But no, I have not done a CAD design for a motorhome. Actually, I was just thinking in my my video this week, I tested the wireless range on the headset, and I found that my job as a drawing house plans came in very handy for this video, because I was able to, because I drew the plan for my house that I live in, and so I was able to measure, you know, in AutoCAD. I just measured from my office 40 feet away and was able to walk down, because that's the wireless range on the headset that I did the review of is 40 feet. So I measured 40 feet away, then I walked down to that spot in my house to check to see if that 40-foot range was actually real, and sure enough, it made it. You know, it even lasted a little bit beyond that 40-foot range, but it started cutting in and out once I went past that 40-foot spot. But up to that point, it was like perfect. So that was kind of fun to, you know, be able to pull up my house plan on my computer and go, okay, how far is 40 feet? So I know, rather than having to guess or, you know, bust out a tape measure or something like that. So, new rain, how, like, I guess, you know, do you have an idea already, like what you want to do for your motorhome there that you want to build in that truck? Or I guess I should, how are you just going to build it like I'm assuming out of wood, pretty much frame it like you would a house, kind of? I mean, I've never even looked into something like that before, like what people use. I mean, would you use 2x4s or would you use like 2x2s, or I mean, I don't even know, because I feel like if you built it like out of 2x4s, although those trucks are that's probably why you're looking at those trucks. They're designed for, you know, carrying a pretty heavy load, so you could build something on the back that's going to be pretty heavy, and that wouldn't bother that truck at all. My nose is itching again. Not as bad as it was last time. Or, yeah, was it last time? Yeah, last time when my nose was itching like crazy. So I'm waiting for new rain. Yes and no and out of metal. Okay. So you want to use like metal studs? Is that what you're thinking? Like metal studs, and then do like some kind of metal on the sides? You're going to make it like bulletproof? You're going to use like like 1/4-inch steel or something? Excuse me. Oh yeah, I was going to get myself a drink of water to have on hand so that I can drink something. Oh well. My nose is itching. All right. Well, just trying to think if there was anything else that I've wanted to chat about this week. Stuff that I heard about in the news and whatnot. I'm not really thinking of anything. Well, to our 3 viewers, 2 of which still did not say hi in the chat. Very disappointed. Or maybe you did and it didn't show up, because I think that has happened before. Because I know that like during the stream I try to answer all the questions and stuff that I see, but I remember watching it back a little bit one time, and there were like questions that I was answering that weren't showing up in the chat replay. So that makes me wonder if there's stuff getting typed in the chat that doesn't come through and I don't see it. Okay, I'm doing diamond plate 2 feet on the bottom and the rest metal. All right. I'm assuming you're going to use like some kind of stainless or something so that kind of weather protect it. Or I guess if you use some other kind of metal and you can paint it with something that will be like a kind of a non-corrosive paint or whatever, you know, that'll weather protect it. Excuse me. On the outside. Man. Excuse me. See, this is the kind of stuff, you know, if I do it, you know, if I'm coughing or clearing my throat when I'm making my videos, I edit them out. Live streams, I don't get that luxury. You guys get to hear all the coughs and throat clears and stuff. And I'm so happy for you now. So you're going to do diamond plate on the outside of the frame. So you're talking about, now I got to go back to those pictures. Anyway. I think I know what you mean. Basically, you're kind of talking about using diamond plate kind of right on the, kind of like the bed, along the sides of the bed, basically. Is that what you're talking about? Military tan will be the color. Okay, there you go. Cool. So is this something you're going to do? Is it going to require like a lot of welding, or is it something you can do with just like screws and stuff? I mean, I've never looked into that kind of thing before, so I have no idea how it would be done. I guess I would probably Google it and go on YouTube, and there's probably somebody that's made a video about it, huh? Well, all right. So now we are at 50 minutes. So now I have 10 minutes left until I'm going to stop the stream, and then I'll go change into my grubby clothes and go mow my lawn. Just trying to think if there was anything else. I know there was some other stuff this week. Let me check on my phone. Sometimes will remind me. Well, I mean, I guess. Says, yeah, you want it to be strong. So I'm guessing that will be an answer to the welding. There'll be quite a bit of welding to do. So do you do welding then? Is that something that you know how to do? I'll talk about the 1180 GPU. I know absolutely nothing about the 1180. I think I heard something where supposedly it had been confirmed that they were calling it the 1180. But at the same time, if I remember right, that was still speculative. They weren't really 100%. It was like, an article from like videocards.com or whatever, where you can kind of take it with a grain of salt a little bit, what you hear there sometimes. But it sounds like they're actually going to call it that, and it sounded like the performance was really good. I know on Tech Talk pretty sure it was this last week, that or just the other day, that Jay's 2 cents was talking about. When was it? I want to say it was it with the release of the 1080 or something like that? That he talked to like people at NVIDIA about it, or maybe it was Jensen, the guy that's the CEO. That he said that NVIDIA has developed technology, basically 5 years into the future worth of stuff, where it's like if they wanted to, instead of releasing the 1080, they could have jumped all the way to, basically a 5-year jump in graphics card technology instead of an incremental year by year. They could have jumped if they wanted to, because that's how far they've developed their tech. But because of having to appease investors and stuff like that, and shareholders in the company, they need to, do basically milk it, is my perspective on it, for all it's worth. And so they're incrementally releasing, I want to say it's like 25% performance increases. So that's pretty much what we should expect from the 1180 over the 1080, is about a 25% increase in performance, which that's good. Well, it'll be good, for people that want to run high refresh rate and high resolution stuff. So, but once again, it's going to be expensive, as always. I forget what did they launch at, like $600 or something like that for the 80 cards, like the 1080 and 1180. Launch at like $600 or something like that. So they're going to be very expensive, as always. But yeah, it's going to be a nice improvement. The thing that always excites me the most on new graphics cards releases, especially right now, because right now, things are in that transition phase between 1080p resolution and like 4K. And so the majority of people out there are using 1080p still, I think. Some people, you know, have gone 1440p for gaming, and some people go 4K. But the majority of people are in that 1080 sweet spot, I think, where what's good for them is this new generation of graphics cards is going to make like gaming at 1080p, high settings on your games, like really, really affordable and good. That you're going to be hitting, you know, that, I mean, they already are, really. I mean, like the GTX 1060 and the 1050 and 1050 Ti, they're decent for 1080, you know, but 1060 is like better, especially if you want to push, you know, up to 60 FPS and have your settings really high on your games and stuff. But yeah, you're looking at like your, you know, 1150 class graphics card probably being at like 1060 performance, or maybe even better. So, you know, you're talking about a sub $200 graphics card being able to run, well, look, potentially, you know, this is speculation on my part. Yeah. So that's my speculation, is that your sub $200 graphics cards are going to be like 1080p beasts. So you're going to start seeing, I'm sure, when the next generation of NVIDIA cards launches, there's going to be a lot of guys on YouTube making videos about, you know, probably sub $500 gaming PCs. You know, they're going to be throwing, you know, like a Ryzen 3 processor, which is like fantastic, you know, for 1080p gaming. Wonderful. You know, and they're not very expensive. They're what, like $100 processors, and then take one of these, like potentially like maybe $150 GPU, and then 1080p max settings, 60 FPS. You know, of course, this is again speculation on my part, but that's kind of the direction I see it going, and it's exciting. It's very cool because, excuse me, because. You know, that's good for us, for the consumers, for the gamers, you know, that people are going to be able to game at 1080p, 60 FPS for less money than before. And that's very cool, very exciting. It's just, you know, if you want to go to that, like, super high, if you're, you know, one of those 100 hertz, 120 hertz, 144 hertz, 200 hertz, whatever, then, of course, you're going to need to have the higher end stuff so you can hit those really high refresh rates. Or if you're going up in resolution, then of course the higher resolution, the more powerful graphics card you need also there. Excuse me again. But I'm excited about that, like, low end, to see, you know, just how much performance we're going to get for our money coming up. I think I need to get a drink, which means I should probably sign off here pretty soon. Yeah, Barnacles, he said that he was working for Microsoft. He was using 32 core when only 8 core was out. Yeah. Technology just keeps moving, trucking right along, keeps moving right along. I'm feeling like right now for my next PC build, I don't know how long. If I were to build one today, for what I do, I feel like, because I edit video, obviously, and I game. And so in my mind right now, the best bang for my buck would be the Ryzen 7 2700X, probably. Man. Excuse me. I really need to get a drink. But yeah, that would be the CPU I think I would go with, because the 8 cores, 16 threads, and yeah, it's a solid CPU, and it's what, $250, I think, something like that. Let me look it up real fast. Newegg.com. But if I were to build a new computer, an R7 2700, what do they sell for right now? Oh, okay, I was off by a lot. They're like $300. But I think that's what I would go with right now. That's what I would do, I think, if I were to build a new computer right now for what I do, because anything like above and beyond that I feel like is overkill for me. Like to do like a Threadripper, you know, 16 core, 32 thread. Yeah, no, I know what you mean. You're saying, New Rain, I mean, there's only 2 other people watching, and they're probably reading the chat if they're watching. But yeah, I wouldn't say how much Microsoft is holding back, but because they're getting their chips from Intel. You know, I'm sure Intel and AMD have stuff that they're working on that's far superior, obviously, than the stuff that is available to the general public. And I know that, like in the server space, they have CPUs that are, I don't even know how many cores and threads. They're ridiculous. But, because Threadripper is basically kind of a cut down EPYC. And I think EPYC has up to, I don't even know. 32 cores, 64 threads, maybe even more than that. Maybe like 64 cores, 28 threads. I don't know. I don't follow that end of the spectrum that closely, so I don't know a whole lot about it. But yeah, there's stuff that's available that would blow our minds, which then makes me think of other conversations I've had in the past about technology that I'm sure exists that would blow our minds. That, you know, just the technology that we know about, that like the military has, the United States military, it's pretty impressive stuff. The stuff that they tell us about. What about the stuff they don't tell us about? That they don't want us to know, or more importantly, our enemies to know that exists. I'm sure there's technology that exists and is being used that would absolutely explode our brains if we knew it. We'd be like, you have got to be kidding me. I had no idea. But anyway, I have hit the hour mark, and so I need to sign off. I got stuff I got to get done today. Thank you, New Rain, for coming in and hanging out. I'm happy to have you here and to be able to chat with you a little bit. Best of luck to you on your motorhome, man. That's exciting. Should be able to have some good times with that. Anyway, for now, I am going to sign off. Hope you all have a fantastic day, and we'll catch you next week.